Learning instruction is always difficult and time-consuming. It is especially difficult for most of us when it involves something mechanical, relatively unexplored, and mysterious.
I've been reading about teaching machines, and I've heard my friends discuss them, but actually I know very little about them. What will they do for my children?
Teaching machines. We've been hearing a great deal about them lately, and the first thing most parents ask is, what are they? Dr. James Finn is professor of education at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles.
Well, this book I have in my hand, which is called a scrambled textbook, is a teaching machine. This book here, which is known as a programmed book, is a teaching machine. This relatively inexpensive device here, which is made principally of bended metal, is a teaching machine.
Dr. E.H. Galanter is an associate professor of psychology at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. He is one of the foremost authorities on the psychological implications of the teaching machines.
Teaching machines are like a magical book. They're a book that asks a question on each page, and they won't allow the student to continue until they assure themselves that the student knows the material on that page. Actually, of course, although they take the form of books, often the material, called a program, is installed in a machine.
Now, they all operate more or less on the same theory, although there are different theories too. But let's take the simplest example here. This particular machine here presents to an individual student who works it a problem in this frame or window here, and he is asked to write with a pencil or pen his answer to the question in this slot. Now, it may be that he doesn't quite know the answer, and if so, he moves the knob over this far, and a clue or cue is given him, and his first answer is covered by a sheet of plastic. He then gets a chance to write the second answer. He pulls the knob all the way over, and the real answer is disclosed. His answer is covered, and he can compare the two. If he makes an error, he punches the tape here indicating he's made an error.
The important thing is that after the child has answered his question, he knows immediately whether he was right or wrong. And this seems to be the important fact that produces the incredible effects in learning efficiency.
Knowing what teaching machines are is only the beginning. Parents have many other questions to ask. They want to know whether these machines will dehumanize instruction, whether they will over-mechanize the classrooms. How effective are they really?
We do have experimental results now from a variety of studies that indicate that certainly children do learn without the presence of any person. They learn from 2 to 5 times faster. They appear to retain what they've learned easily as well as they retain what they learned by classical teaching. And they certainly give the teacher a break in the sense that he or she doesn't have to go through the tedious and monotonous task of drilling the students. The machines or the programs do that for her. I think there is no question about the effectiveness of the machines.
Many of these programs are now undergoing extensive field testing. That is, they're being used with large numbers of students across the country, and we will know a lot more in the next year than we do now.
The question of over-mechanizing is one that I find difficult to worry about. Somehow, most people who work today work around machines, and in fact, the capitalization of a truck driver or the capitalization of a secretary or the capitalization of a motion picture photographer is a lot higher than the capital equipment that is provided for the teacher. After all, the teacher has a blackboard and some chalk, and that's about it. It would do no harm to spend some money to provide mechanical support for her. If the teacher is relieved of some of these tasks, she can then devote some time to the more humane aspects of teaching, the parts of teaching that don't involve drill and so on. She can have time to consult with her students and to discuss with them problems that they may be having. This means that rather than dehumanizing the teaching process, the machines will allow a re-engagement of the teacher with the student in a way that is going to be nourishing to the educational development of the child.
A teaching machine may assist, but it can never replace a living teacher. Complicated as it is still just another tool. And the effectiveness of a tool depends on the skill with which it is used. Teaching machines will not solve all our problems. They may indeed create some new problems. In any case, a teaching machine is as good as the teacher who uses it, and no better. The concern about teaching machines is similar to the concern which parents properly feel about anything new in the school routine. This concern is raising questions nowadays about another new element in the school program. Not a machine this time, but an idea.
I understand that some college-level courses are being taught to our high school youngsters, and I'm wondering why. I'd be satisfied to have our youngsters master their high school subjects.
Dr. Kenneth Lund is superintendent of Oak Park and River Forest High School, just outside of Chicago.
The interesting new program in American high schools of teaching college work to qualified high school students is one of the evidences that I can offer that American education does change and does improve. This has a remarkable history in a short time. Since 1954, this program has grown to where over 800 high schools and over 10,700 students last May took examinations for college credit work on the basis of their work in American high schools.
B.J. McCormick is principal of Taylor Alderdice High School in Pittsburgh. Dr. Edwin Fenton is an associate professor of history at Carnegie Tech